Welcome back. Relationships are complicated. Things like blended families, children with special needs, and memory care issues. So today, why everyone needs an estate plan now. Gifford Collins is an attorney with Collins Law Firm. He is here to explain why this plan is so critical. Hey, Giff.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm going to walk through a few scenarios that you gave me,
All right.
and I want you to talk to us about why it's a problem, why it's a concern, and then what the solution is. Okay, are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. So let's talk about this first one. And in this case, it's minor children. So you've got kids who are under the age of 18. What's the concern?
Well, there's really two main concerns. First one is who's going to look after the kids if the parents aren't around anymore? And then the second one is, whatever assets are left over for the kids, are they going to be managed correctly? So those are really the two main concerns with minor kids.
Yeah, and is it true that the court would appoint a guardian to look after the children if you don't specify?
Right. So that is one of the major concerns, is that parents, if they don't nominate a guardian on their own, whoever is going to end up the guardian of the children, it could be family services at first who initiates a guardian proceedings, and then someone is appointed to watch the kids. And that might not be who the parents would like, and that person might not be the greatest person to handle those assets or the money for the kids either.
Yeah, that's
that is a big concern.
Definitely a concern. So what is the solution?
So, there's no cookie cutter solution for all of this stuff, which is why folks should speak with an estate planning attorney. But one of the things we can do is create a trust, either, through a will or a revocable living trust, that one nominates guardians, most importantly, to ensure that the parents are choosing who are watching the kids instead of the courts. The second thing is we can set up a trust where someone is handling the money for the minors, because there are laws that regulate how money can be used for children under 18. And we can use a trust that kind of modifies how that money can be used. The other thing is the person who's handling the money can use the money for the kids' benefit, but then the parents can allow the children to take the money out at certain, we call it ages and stages. So it could be ages like 25, 30, and 35. They would take a third out at 25, half of what's left over at 30, and then take the rest out at 35. Or it could be stages like graduating high school or graduating college. They could have the ability to take out a chunk of money at that point. So you have a little extra control over how the money is used after you pass.
Yeah, it's wonderful that parents can specify that part, and I think a lot of people aren't aware of that. So I'm glad you explained that. Let's talk about another common situation, blended families where there are children from a previous relationship. What's a problem in this case if you don't have a plan?
Yeah, because usually it's unintentional consequences from not having a plan in place, because there are statutes that regulate how money from one spouse goes to heirs and the surviving spouse in a blended family situation. So what we do is we use either wills or trusts to modify how that money would be distributed upon the death of the first spouse. So usually spouses in a blended family understand that if there's enough assets around, that the parent would want some money to go to their own kids. So what we do is we set up a trust that would set aside a certain portion of money that could be used under certain circumstances for the surviving spouse, but after the surviving spouse passes, whatever's left over ends up going to that parent's own children. So, there's a lot of different variation that we can use, but because like I said, no, everyone is different. It is such a personal decision, but we can modify the trust to work however that blended family would like that distribution to go.
Here's another situation, life partners who are not married, whether they have kids or not. What's the legal concern here without a plan?
Well, there's really two major ones. With life partners, if there's an emergency, a health emergency while they're alive, a lot of times the laws don't allow for one life partner to, make decisions for the other life partner. So we have those financial powers of attorney, we have those healthcare powers of attorney, but then also the laws that regulate how money is passed from one person to another doesn't always take into account life partners. So by having a will or a trust in place, we can ensure that the life partner is taken care of after the first partner passes. And like the previous examples, I mean, there's a lot of variation that we can put in the trust to ensure that, everyone is taken care of the way that they'd like to be taken care of.
Talk about this one, if you would, real quickly. A family with special needs. Let's say there's a dependent who is disabled, who needs additional care, whether it's government assistance or caregivers. What's the problem?
Well, the concern there is, sometimes an inheritance might disqualify someone from receiving government benefits, but, there still isn't a whole lot of assets there that would allow for the care of that disabled person throughout their lifetime. So what we can do is we can use, supplemental needs trust or special needs trust, and ensure that that money is managed correctly. And we can also put care manager provisions in the special needs trust because they are very specific, because every condition is different. So, one person's condition might require certain provisions, but a different person's condition might require others in different levels of care. So by having these care manager provisions in place, those parents or those folks who are taking care of these disabled people can ensure that the care moving forward is what that person needs for the rest of their life.
You make such a good point that every situation is different, which illustrates the importance of these estate plans. Thank you so much, Giff. We appreciate your time this morning.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And this is wonderful. Giff is offering Morning Blend viewers a discount on estate planning. That's how important he thinks it is. And you can call him today to talk over your situation. The website for more information is giffcollinslaw.com, and you can call him at 414-207-6292.